Therapy Army! Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Let's be having you. Big up to everybody. Apologies, I'm late, people. I'm sorry that I'm late. Apologies. Big up to all of you. And those of you who stayed up, those of you who have gone. We're getting Rick Ashley Corker on tonight. Big up. Oh, God. Big up United Devil. Big up Stephanie. Lauren, do you think Maguire starts on Thursday night and it's the battle of the Harrys? Yeah, 100%. I think he could start because he's the captain. But I wouldn't. I 100% wouldn't. I think I can see Ten Hag starting him, but I would not start him. I think Luke Shaw and Victor Lindelof needs to play Stephanie. I think those two need to play. 100% those two need to play. Big up to all of you. Big up to everybody. Big up to all of you and big up to everybody. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Spurs versus Manchester United, which is a huge game. Huge game. They've got Ryan Mason in charge. It's crazy. Why would you sack Antonio Conte, then keep the job of his assistant, right? And then expect to play something different without you agreeing with the assistant. Hey, are you going to play something different? Are you going to try to do something totally different to get the best out of this team? No, that Italian guy does exactly the same as Antonio Conte. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So it's fascinating, people. It's absolutely fascinating. Big up to all of you guys. Love and light. Yeah. And let's see what we can do against Spurs. Can we say the word Spurs? Let's see if we can go there, Spurs, and actually get the points or at least not get beat. I think Man United should go all out to go and win it. I genuinely believe that. I think United should do all they can to go and win that. So I don't think that Man United should be thinking, you know what, this is who they are, and we need to knock them out. So yeah, jump on. I'm just sending a message to Irfan, see if he can jump on. But big up to all of you. We're also going to be discussing these rumors about Nymer. I don't know if guys, have you heard the rumors about Nymer? And I'm like, no, thank you. Absolutely no, thank you. So, yeah, I'm like, miss me out with that BS. Like, I don't want a prima donna being in my football club. Yeah. Okay. Wow. But how are we feeling about Thursday, people? How are we feeling about Thursday? How are we feeling about the game? Talk to me, guys. How are we feeling? Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. How are we feeling about Thursday? What do we think about Thursday, people? What are we thinking about Thursday's fixture? Obviously, they're not going to need that much motivating. The Spurs fans are livid. I think they might be doing a protest, or at least you're going to hear a lot of leave it out chants within the stadium. A lot of Spurs fans are up to it. You know what I mean? They're up to their necks in what they think about their Glazers out is basically leave it out. They blame everything for Levy, and some people are like, yeah, it's fair. Some people are like, no, it's not fair. So it's very interesting to see where the dynamics go and how that happens.
Basically,
so it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting to see like what happens and what kind of oh God, skulls, hairs everywhere, all over me. It's what's going to happen with Spurs. How are they going to react? They're definitely, Ryan Mason's going to be looking for a reaction. All he has to do is play that game again. All he has to do is play the Newcastle game again and go, right, you weren't competing. the most you can do for these fans to get them on side is give everything, fight for everything, battle for everything. And this is a must-win game for us to get back into top 4. We've got a chance here. It's a 6-pointer here to get to get back in this race, top 4 race. So that's what's going to be the dynamic. Yeah, that's what's going to be the dynamic. That is what's going to be the dynamic. So that's what would happen. What do you guys think? What are you thinking? Big up Google this. Yes, brother, talk to me. Spot on, Nuruddin. They will feel wounded and they want to get it back. Won't be easy at all. Of course, that's what I'm saying. I wish that they drew at least or whatever. Big up Ian 14. Gunners don't seem to realize that it's possible to have an simple season and get relegated. Yeah, because you can just get relegated for drawing games. Yeah, 100%. Ed, even if we lose, I'm 90% Spurs will continue to F about and drop points. So I'm not worried about maintaining top 4. Well, I am, Ed. That's the difference between me and you, Ed. I am worried. Adrian Cruz says, I reckon 1-1 draw. I reckon Spurs will go get off for us. They will go to Anfield after that and get slapped 4-0. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting. I mean, we've got Villa next, innit? We've got Villa next. That's on Sunday. That's not going to be an easy game, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. They're bang at it, Villa. They're bang at it. And you know what? Before we scored the second and third goal, it was a close game in the League Cup. I don't know how many of you remember, but it was quite a close game in the League Cup. So it's going to be a very, very interesting. Skip Højbjerg in their midfield. It should be easy for us. Well, Bruno, I think looks like Bruno, the way he's moving, looks like it could be out 3 or 4 weeks. I know I put the post on and a photo, and people are like, it's just a precaution. But honestly, the injury is because of the Wembley pitch. He did something to his ankle. It's not a knock. Don't get it twisted. It's not somebody knocked it. It's the way he landed. His leg landed. His ankle landed. His leg went like that. He went like that, went like that, and then went like that, like twisted. So, and it looks like what twisted it was the front part of the foot that twisted like that, like put it down, and he went like that, shaped differently. So I don't know what you guys think is. It's not a bad injury. I think it could be a bad injury. I think he could be out, and that's a massive miss, a huge miss, a massive miss. I know he's like Marmite. I'm telling you, I know he's like my mate, right? But he is such a crucial part of this team, especially the leadership aspect of this team. I mean, yeah, he came back, and if he made better decisions on Sunday, we could have won the game 2-0 or 1-0 at least. No, you know what? Both of them, I'm happy about it, Rafi. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm happy about it. But I'm worried about the injuries. I'm worried about now Bruno picking up another effing injury. This is what it hurts me. It bloody hurts me, man. It does my absolute head in. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So this is how it is, people. I cannot stand this, that he's injured again. They will try hard to play solid formation, use their strength, Kane, Son. So counter-attack, set pieces. Yeah, 100%. That's what we're looking at. Counter-attack and set pieces. No, I think it's going to be counter-attacks. I think we're going to... This is where I want Rashford to basically bring about certain thing. Oh, Leicester 1-1-1 with Vardy scored. Okay, very interesting. I don't know where they are in the table, but 1-1. It looks like 1-1. Aston Villa beat Fulham 1-0. Wow. Look. Aston Villa have got how many days to rest now? See what I mean? Or they got to play in the weekend. That's what I'm saying to you. They play us on Sunday. Like Aston Villa now have got what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like 5 days to rest. Almost 5 days to rest. We've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days of rest, and then we'll have what? Thursday, we'll play Friday, Saturday, and then we play on Sunday. Like it's effing ridiculous. It's effing ridiculous what Man United have to contend with. I just can't stress this enough, people. The BS that Manchester United have to contend with. The BS that Manchester United have to contend with. So Villa are allowed to play tonight. They've not been involved in any European football, but they'll have a rest. So they'll prepare. They'll have 4 days to prepare for the United game, and then we've got 2 days to prepare for it. Yeah, no, 100%. And people are telling me that he might be fit for the next game. It'd be miraculous from the way he looks to me. His wife put it out on Instagram. I saw a photo of Bruno's wife put it out on Instagram. He's just elevating his leg and he's in a boot or in a cast or whatever it is. On our next 4, if we survive to get, say, 9 points, I'll be happy. Spurs away, Villa at home, Brighton away, West Ham away. Big up to the travelling fans. Now, big up Adrian Cruz. Yeah, man, 100%. So, yeah, Ed says here, do you think Kaz, Sabir, Fred and Spurs, Bruno ain't going to be back for at least a week or 2? Yeah, so it is what it is. Ian Fontaine says, we have to win the cup to compensate for the Europa debacle, but it will be difficult. Yeah, it will be difficult, but I'm not asked about Europa League. That weak mentality, we need to go to their stadium and get 3 points. Spurs are poor for a reason. They're bottle jobs. We have to be better team than them. Sure, Lindelof need to start. United 2-0. Wow, young Gabs is going in for it. Young Gabs, you know what? That's why I like to hear fighting talk. That is fighting talk, man. Yes, Tom, I'll put the link on here. You want to jump on, Tom? Jump on, Tom, because I want to get your 2 pence, man. Jump on. Evening, Tom. I hope you're well. Jump on, bro, if you're there, if you can. Our players are at their limits. The FA has done nothing to help our situation. It's not okay for players to play 63 games and get even a week of rest. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, honestly. We're going to come to the Neymar situation, but let's just do the preview first, people. We'll come to the Neymar situation in a minute because, honestly, I'm like, miss me out with that Neymar talk. No chance. What is this about Man United always getting this kind of like, almost kind of like 30-year-olds? What are we doing now, collecting the 30-year-olds? It's crazy. By the way, that Evan Ferguson contract, he's only signed it so that it's a bit of security for him. Also, they can get the money. They can get money for him if a big team comes for him. Also, we're going to be discussing Nemanja Vidic. We'll talk a bit about the Nemanja Vidic interview. Those of you who saw it will definitely be talking about that. Yeah. So it's going to be very, very interesting to talk about that. So Evan Ferguson, breaking news today. He has signed till 2028. So yeah, he's got about 5-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, 5-year contract. So it's going to be very interesting. There we go. Get Tom on here. All right, Tommy lad, are we having it or what?
We're having it.
We're having it. Are we mad for it?
We're having it.
Are we mad for it?
Come on, battle of the bottle jobs, eh? It's battle of bottle jobs.
You know what, Tom? You said it. You absolutely said it. You said it. You said it, Tom.
No, but
you said it, bro.
But this, I don't.
Said it, man. How are you feeling about this game? How are you feeling about this game, bro? What are you thinking?
Even though,
especially that if Bruno's going to be injured for a bit, what are you thinking?
Even with Bruno injured and with our away form being so poor as it has been, we should go to their stadium and wipe the floor with them. We should. With the way we have, if you like, performed, where we haven't exactly excelled, but we find a way to win in the games where it means a lot. And yes, we can say Sevilla because that was a debacle, but we're having them minor blips in the season. It's happening. But, like we said, the only thing with Bruno is we lack A, the leadership, and B, the passing channels going forward. That's the only thing. But the only thing I'm not scared of Harry Kane because Harry Kane will get a chance in the game. Like it's gonna happen. People can say, "Well, there's Ryan Mason, and he's not a brilliant mastermind coach." This, that, the other. Harry Kane will have a chance in that game. It just depends if he takes it or not. That's the difference. So their main asset is Harry Kane in that team. The only thing if you like, the only thing that I think Spurs could have is we always know it where you get a new manager bounce. That's the only thing that I am, if you like, fearful of in this case. And because they put in such a shit show at Newcastle, they need to put something out to their fans in their own stadium. They need a big result. And if you want a big result, do it against one of your other top four rivals, which is Manchester United. You bottled it against Newcastle, so do it against Manchester United, who you are equally going for the top four with. And they need to pull something out. And regardless of what they say about managers and we have a permanent manager and they don't, things like that. Listen, it's about the 11 players that are on the field. And at the end of the day, Spurs, when they've leaked 6 goals, they ain't going to be easy to score against. I will guarantee you that. They ain't. They will have 10 men in their own half. Probably maybe even go into the third quarter of their half or final third. They will absolutely compact that box in the same way, say, Brighton did in the FA Cup semi-final, where whenever we had a sustained period of possession, albeit it might have been for 5 minutes, they had every single man behind the ball, and we couldn't find the keys to break them down. If Spurs play a back 3 or back 5 with the wing backs, like they sometimes do, that's even going to be even harder, especially when we don't have the player who can unlock the keys, which is Bruno Fernandez. And we all know at the end of the day that we miss him, and we lack those options going forward. But with Spurs as a team, like I say, on paper, we should go there and we should wipe the floor with them. Whereas in reality, I think we're going to struggle here. I honestly do. Because I just don't see us being able to create as many chances as we often do without Bruno. But also, I don't see what we can do from a tactical perspective because we know what Spurs are going to do. They're going to sit in. They're going to play 10 men behind the ball. This is what they're going to do. They'll give Manchester United the ball for probably most of the game because that's what they've been playing near enough all season and then sit on the counter-attack. But at the end of the day, the only thing we can take from it is, at least with Bruno Fernandez, where he's been out, where he missed the Sevilla game, and yes, he is out with this minor injury, at least he gets a break. At least he gets a bit of a rest. That's the only thing that we can say, because this man, ever since he's been here, I cannot recall a major injury that he's had or any major suspension where he gets a bit of a timeout, gets a bit of a breathe. He doesn't take a breath. That's the problem with him. And he blows out in every single game. But that's the sort of players that we want at the football club. Like I say, the only thing that with Spurs is they have the new manager bounce and they have a point to prove to those supporters. Because if they pull out a stink like they did against Newcastle, that whole stadium will turn on them. And they can't be having it at the end of the day, especially if you're trying to go for the top 4 in the way that they are. But for me, anyway, just on a Spurs perspective, and we knew Stellini was never going to work, was he? Let's be honest. He's Conte's best man. Wherever Antonio Conte goes next, Stellini will be his assistant. Like he's going to follow. This is what coaches do. Ryan Mason, even in the last time that he had the interim job, he did a decent job, didn't he? I think he still got them European football when I think they were like 10th at one point in time. Like he still manoeuvred them in that way. And at the end of the day, the one thing with Spurs that I've always reiterated is we don't have that creative player like we do. We're going to miss with Bruno. And albeit we score from a free kick or a set piece or something, like it's going to be interesting to see. But at the end of the day, we know with the fixtures that we have as well, like we've got Villa at the weekend, right? The consistency, you can't perform week in, week out. And I don't ever expect that from this team. I don't ever expect them to perform 100% and amazingly week in, week out, because it's impossible to do. Every team has an off day. But it's when we have the off days, can we still get the result? And that's all we care about at this moment in time. And like you already reiterated previously, Rudin, what's the point in having games in hand if you don't win them? You would rather have the points already on the board and know what you have than be able to impact what happens in the future, whether it be for yourself or whoever else. So at the end of the day, we need to go to Spurs and we need to win. Love it or hate it, people, Spurs are our biggest rival at this moment in time. Spurs and Newcastle, for whom we are getting this top four sort of race for. And I think if we beat them, do we go like 8 or 9 points? I think it is. Like, listen, it's a must-win in many cases. It is a must-win to try and get this top four.
No, 100%. It is a must-win. That's why I'm going to bring. Bumbaye. Bumbaye, big up to you. This is a massive. How much has emotionally and physically, how much of it has Sunday taken out of the players going into extra time and penalties? And last time we were on Wembley, we went and got absolutely smoked the next league game. If you don't remember, you know what I mean? We went and got smoked the next league game. Do you think there's going to be any hangovers? And obviously, I saw a photo today. It looks like Bruno's injured. Bruno could be out for a week, 2 weeks. You know what I mean? He looks like, you know, he's resting at home. He's not in training. He's not even in the injury and rehab. I think it could be that because of the swelling needs to go down, or it could be that it could be a precaution like swelling, or it could be that he's really injured. So, how much we're gonna miss Bruno? What are you thinking about this game on Thursday? Big up to all of you, by the way. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification because it lets you know we're live. I think we're still short. If I'm not mistaken, we're about 30 short of 40,000. So hit that notification button. Go ahead, Bumbaye.
Yeah, evening, bro. Evening, Tom. Evening, Therapy Army. Thinking, bro, for me, look, I'm not going to say it's a must-win game. You know what? Because we have to give the players credit. They've got themselves in a position, and the people competing with us have got themselves in an imposition, being impotent when they had to get results. That the reality of the table and what's in front of us and who's competing with us is we've got some breathing room now. And I have to factor in what you're saying, which is that was a grueling game, man, against Brighton, 120 minutes. You know what I mean? So we can, you know what I mean? We've got what it takes to go and beat a Tottenham. You know, they're wounded at the minute. They're there for the taking. They really are. But when you're there for the taking, you know, a wounded animal is dangerous. Their fans have come out against them like bad. It's all over this internet, all over TalkSport. You know, former players saying they should be ashamed. They should refund the players. That fuels a team. And it's Man United, and everybody wants to beat Man United. It doesn't matter if we're 18th position. It's just the way it is, man. So it is not going to be just, stroll and take the points and that. It's not must-win. But the fact that I don't believe it's must-win relieves the players of a little bit of that pressure, which I think is good considering how much of a grueling season they've been through already. So they can go in, play your game, and you can win this, no problem. You can go and get the points. You know what I mean? And obviously then you have to factor in, okay, let's say we play good and then we get popped. Are we going to kill the team? No. There's ways to lose. That's what we've been saying. So if we do lose, but we play well, then, you know, we have to just take it on the chin. Bruno is a huge miss for any Manchester United team for any game. He's the first name on the team sheet for me. You know how much I love that player. If only on attitude and application alone. So, do you know what I mean? Go into this one, look forward to it. And if we do get the points, it's going to be, you know, that's it. Hopefully, signed, sealed, delivered. There's nobody else apart from us, Newcastle, Arsenal, and City. That's it. It's pretty much done, unless a miracle happens. So, I mean, be confident, man. Be all right.
Well, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Listen, it's going to be very interesting. For me, I think it's a must-win game because then if we beat them, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's 9 points. And they're a direct competitor for top. For they're a direct competitor for top 4. So beating them will literally put a dent in their thing. And while we play them, we've got something to do about it. If you know what I mean? Like we can knock them out of it, get them down on the table, and that. So so even then we can have it as an insurance by beating them. If we was able to get beat by Brighton or Villa, and maybe West Ham, if we don't pick up many points in that, at least we've got that insurance that the closest rival to us, we've beaten them. And we put a little bit of distance between us and them because they've got to go to Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, in the next game. So
if I had them boys in the dressing room, bro, I wouldn't tell them what I said, what I think the reality is. I'd tell them what you just said. I'd say, look, effectively today, yeah, I'm not going to say that you have to win. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure. But what I'll tell you is, you can rest easy in the coming weeks and prepare for City and prepare for, play with a little bit more breathing room if you do the business today. Just get that in your minds before you go out to the pitch. I'd put it to them more towards what you're saying if these were my players in my dressing room. But you're asking me on this show, the reality is they're all but done. They are not a direct competitor, they're an indirect competitor because of where they are, the games in hand, the points, and what's to come, and what they've been offering up at the moment. It's a club in disarray. But yeah, I'll take on board what you're saying, bro. So I don't think it is must win. But if I had them boys, I'd say, listen, Nuruddin said this, I would take this on board. Because if you do get the 3 points, then it puts you in good stead going forward. And you can start to decompress a little bit now in terms of pressure and focus.
100%. 100%. For me, the biggest things that I would like to say it's a must-win game for you to have an easier next game. So yeah, we're both like we were on the same page. Big up Beyond Gab says, yeah, it says I would play Sancho in the 10 with Martial and Rashford, Anthony. We can open them up there in defense. It's leaky. They've conceded 51 goals. And it's the 6th most in the division. Wow. Well, we've conceded 29 goals, I think, on away games playing against the teams in the top 9. So it tells you. Well, I will take 30 accounts to subscribe to Nuri, my brother. Well, I will make big up Abdullah. Big up, man. Oh my God. All the A's. Big up A, mate. Big up A.
Triple A, bro. Triple A.
Triple A, man. Big up Jarvis. Jarvis, let me know. The link is there. If you want to jump on, let us know, brother. Ezeki, if you want to jump on, let us know as well. Big up to you, boys. Big up to you all.
Yo, bro, listen, once and for all, is that brother's name Ezeki or Eski?
Eski. I don't know why I call him Ezeki. It's Eski. Eski, big up to you, brother. I don't know why I call him. You know why? Because I know somebody called Ezekiel. That's why.
Zico and Ezekiel, yeah.
Yeah, Eski. Big up Eski.
Just think Emil Heskey, man.
Yeah, Eski says, Spurs is a must-win game, but they don't scare us at all. They're a complete mess right now. Sancho will score twice. Would you do this, like Young Gab said? What would you think about this formation, Mumbai? I think that sounds good because I would play. So this is what I would play. No. Actually, you know what? I would play Casemiro, Fred, and Sabitzer. Obviously, Bruno. I would not rest Bruno. I will not risk him. So I would play those 3, and then I would play Sancho as the left winger. Anthony. I don't know.
You won't risk Bruno. You won't risk him if it's must win.
No, I won't.
That's what you say.
You know why? Because imagine we risk him and then he gets badly injured, and he misses the cup final. I can't take him missing the cup final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So I will play Sancho in the end with Martial, Rashford, Anthony. We can open them up. That's too attacking. That is really too attacking. That is super attacking. So you're playing Casemiro. So you're gonna play Casemiro and Fred then. Casemiro, Fred with Sancho. Who's gonna help him to defend? Bruno's got lungs. Sancho ain't got the lungs, and he's not good at going back. But 100%, if that was at home, maybe I would have started with that team at home. Yeah, maybe at home, Gabs. Maybe at home. It's Esky, yeah, big up Esky. Yeah, no problem, Jarvis. Take your time, no rush. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's read some of the things about it. So basically, in terms of team news, what we know so far. Obviously, there's going to be a press conference tomorrow with Eric Ten Hag, but this is the team news that we know so far. So this is the team news. Tottenham cannot call up on absentees. Obviously, Basuma is out. Bentancur, who's been one of their best players of the season. Ryan Sessegnon, Lloris got injured, and Emerson Royal. So the people that are as Basuma, Bentancur, Lloris, and Emerson Royal. Lloris went off half-time with a hip injury against Newcastle. So at the moment for United, we've got obviously Garnacho out, Martinez out, Varane is out, Donny is out, and then we've also got this new headache with this minor knock apparently of Bruno. To me, it doesn't look like a minor knock. And when he did it, it didn't look. And the more he played on it, the worse it was. So it looks like it might be a caution of the swelling to the photos that I've seen on social media. It could be that, or it could be that this ain't no joke. Basically, it's no joke. So that he could be out maybe for a couple of weeks. Also, we've got Scott McTominay. He was fighting to overcome obviously that injury. That kept him out of the cup final. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like the cup final. So Scott McTominay might be fit. He could be fit, which is a welcome boost because I'm just sick of not having options off the bench, especially in midfield and anywhere else of the pitch. So these are the possible team that could play. I don't know what Ryan Mason's going to do. Is he going to go with 4 at the back when they've been playing with 5 at the back all season? But this is a possible lineup for Spurs. Fraser Foster, Romero, Dyer, Davis, Petro, Pierre-Emile, and then Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Oliver Skip, Ivan Perisic, Kulusevski, Harry Kane, and Son. So the 3 up front will be Kulusevski, Harry Kane, and Son. So it could be 2, 3, 4. That is what it could be, what they're going to play tomorrow. And possible for Manchester United, obviously, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Fing de Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Sabitzer, Anthony, Martial, and Rashford. So that's what it could be. But I don't want to see Maguire in that team tomorrow, on Thursday, sorry. I do not want to see that. I genuinely do not want to see that.
I'd love to find somebody that does.
Yeah, it's crazy. So in terms of this season, none of Tottenham's last 26 Premier League matches on home turf have ended up level. They won 18, lost 8, but we believe it's time to stop this tradition. Whilst it looks like the prime opportunity for the Red Devils to flash Spurs comeback, hopes down the sink, to flush Spurs' comeback hopes down the sink. New manager effect could still ignite a fighting spirit in the Spurs camp. Manchester United may not necessarily settle for the share of the spoils, yet draw could be beneficial for Ten Hag's standpoint if you're giving the sides form of wobble away from home. So
as long as we don't lose, do you know what I mean? Don't lose that game. But if you look at Tottenham, we're looking at a wounded animal.
Yeah.
We're looking at a team that is upside down. We're looking at a team that's getting smashed 6-1, 5-0 down after 20 minutes. So we're looking for a reaction. And the reaction is always possible. But it's also possible that they just flop again. But we can't go in that thinking that they are going to flop. We have to go in thinking, you know what? This is a team with international players, with good quality, who are falling apart and they shouldn't be. 100%. We need to go in there and, you know what, to do our job properly. Because don't look at it like, Newcastle did this, did that. Because at a certain point, a team has to bounce back. And that bounce back performance, maybe we're the ones that are going to have to face that. So be ready. I mean, don't don't lose the game. A loss would not be good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
100%. Jarvis, talk to me. How are you feeling? You had a good day?
Yeah, big up all. And hey, Bombay, how are you doing?
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
I love you, man. How are you, bro? Looking good, looking good.
Thank you, thank you. So, well, I missed the first 25 minutes of the show. I'm sorry, but
Listen,
what have you
excuse
covered?
me. Excuse me, we're going to have to stop you there. Do not apologize whatsoever. It's a pleasure to have you on. We know it's extremely late. I came late to the stream. So, big up yourself.
You didn't miss anything, bro. It's all uphill from here now you've joined.
Exactly.
Thank
Talk
you.
to me. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Spurs game?
Yeah, I have a good feeling, to be honest, because Spurs they haven't been great lately, so there's a good chance that we will beat them. I believe the only thing that concerns me is we had 120 minutes on Sunday, and we have a couple of injuries on vital players like Bruno Fernandez, and so. But I have been thinking about this, and to be honest, the biggest question is Ten Hag going to play Maguire? Because I think if he plays, we will be in trouble, because Son has been looking better the last couple of games, and the same has Kane. So I don't want to see the big slab on the field on Thursday. At least not until the last 10 minutes if we were up 3-0 or something. I don't have any faith in him at the moment. I would like to see Shaw and Lindelof, because they were both excellent on Sunday. Shaw, he did like the Martinez role. He was pushing out, he was tackling, he was doing all the dirty work, and Lindelof was securing everything and holding his position, and did a brilliant job, and he ended up scoring the winning goal in the penalty shootout. So I would like to see both of them play on Thursday, especially against potent attack as the Spurs guys with they have the Swedish guy Kulusevski back also on the right wing, so they are really threatening going forward. Spurs have their biggest problem is their goalkeeper Lloris is injured, so I think they're back to Foster in goal. So I think we will score goals. I think we will score plenty of goals, to be honest.
Wow. What about Bruno's absence? What do you think about Bruno's absence in a game like this?
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem because Bruno is the catalyst in attack. So but Sabitzer can play there. For me, it's more important that Martial plays, because I think Ten Hag has realized that you can't play up from the back with De Gea and the other new center backs, not when Martinez is out. So he has taken the game to the next level. Now he's just squeezing out the results. So I think he will continue to play out long from the back. So then we need Martial on top to take down the ball and hold the ball up. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy for me, the type of game that we need to play. It's so important that we need to go for it. I genuinely do think we can put a massive dent in their season. If we go there and we apply ourselves and we make it count in terms of their loud confidence. If we go there, especially score first, their crowd is going to be on them. So it's not going to be
Question.
easy. We can use that energy and tension from their crowd. Use that against them. Really use that against them. And I'll stay with you on actually, Jarvis. I asked Bumbaye because I want to ask you this question. How much do you think emotionally and physically would Sunday in that hard pitch? Wembley's a hard pitch. Wembley is a hard pitch when you play and your legs are not the same, you're more fatigued because it's not a pitch that's regularly used on being played on. So how do you think emotionally? Last time we went to Wembley, remember what happened? We went to Liverpool and got smacked. Right, we got absolutely destroyed. So how do you think we are mentally and emotionally? And if you also knowing that Villa play tonight and they're going to rest 4 days before they play us. And we're only resting for 2 days before we play them. It's absolutely absurd. But go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, fatigue is going to play a big role, but it's also the other way around. We won the game. We were in the final. You see the guys in the locker room afterwards celebrating, singing. Everybody was happy. They were running around on the pitch, taking pictures with the fans and all that. So I think the legs are tired, but also we get a lot of energy from that win. So it can go both ways, and hopefully we learned from the last time we went to Wembley. So Ten Hag will be more sharp and more commanding of his players, and maybe he also will give some of them a rest and not play the same 11. We have options on the bench. We have, for example, Fred. I would like to see Fred come in. He did a brilliant job when he came in the second half last game. He had a great tenacity, he has great energy. So Fred will be a possible starter for me. And we also have players like Pilestri. He can start. Even Weghorst can start to just bring energy. It's better to play Weghorst if Martial is not up for it, if his legs are tired or he's injured. So. I think we can do a good job against Spurs, and Spurs' confidence is shattered after they got demolished by Newcastle. I think they lost 6-1. So Spurs are not feeling it at the moment, and they just changed their managers to an interim manager, and if the interim manager, I don't know his style of play. I don't know what to expect from Spurs. What do you think, Bumbaye?
I think first the question I wanted to pose is, it was weird how Conte got sacked, but they left all his staff there, which means, I don't know, are the players playing in Conte's shadow? Is there still some animosity because the leader of that team was sacked? Did the players down tools? Now they're completely gone. Is that going to influence the way that they're going to come to this game? That's something maybe worth considering. I don't know. I look at this Tottenham side, they're punching below their level. But my fear is when they're all up for it, they've got some good players. It should be a reasonably difficult fixture for anybody, this one. So I don't know what they're going to do because I can't really gauge it from what I've been seeing from them. It's very unlike them, what we're watching. But I just go into this cautious that at a certain point, a team that is free falling, a team that is wounded, has to put a performance in to get out of this. And I was saying to Dino, all over the internet, all over the radio stations, you have pundits and players and ex-players and presenters saying it's a disgrace, it's a shambles, they should refund the fans. So sometimes these things fuel a team. They have to come together to fight for that shirt. We might be the ones to receive that performance. Maybe we're not, I hope we're not, but this is the angle I'm looking at this game, Jarvis. From a psychological point of view, I just want our players to be ready for worst case scenario, that they're going to come out and they're really, really going to fight for this. Because if they do, I think it's important that we match that. And then always, in every game, we've spoke many times, today we weren't ready for the fight, although the quality is there. When you're ready for the fight, then the quality will come through as well, but you have to fight first. So this is the way I'm looking at this game.
Yeah, when you say ready for the fight, you mean that the players have to be like fresh legs, and Ten Hag needs to do a lot of changes, or do you think he just have to prepare the players mentally to be prepared for the fight?
I think mentally. I mean, the fatigue in the legs is something that he will know. It was a grueling game in Wembley, but mentally we have to be prepared. We don't want to go and do that performance we did. What was the last game before the Brighton game where it was pretty terrible? Sevilla. We don't want to do a Sevilla there. If Tottenham are looking to really bounce back now that every remnant of Conte is gone, they've got a former player, Ryan Mason. I think a team in crisis has to bounce back at a certain point. We were at the start of the season in what looked like a crisis, and then bang, we bounced.
Yeah.
So mentally is very important that they go into this game understanding what they could be coming up against. If we don't, then great, we're ready anyway. But don't go into this game thinking Newcastle busted these after 20 minutes 5-0, and then they're just going to lay down and it's going to be a nice easy one. Be prepared. Prepare them in that way for the worst case scenario. Get them G'd up, get out there and compete. And if they're going to lie down, great, we'll be there to take advantage. But don't go and do a Sevilla where, you weren't expecting that. If you do that kind of performance, fail to prepare to fail. That's what I'm thinking here. So mentally, the preparation is important for this game, because don't lose it. I'm not thinking it's must win, but I'd be telling the players, like more in line with Mr. Structure, Dino is saying, if you get the result here, we have effectively done. You are top 4, you will be Champions League. You can breathe a little bit easier going forward, start to focus and prepare for the FA Cup final. You know what I mean? But if you lose the game and it's a disaster, then you're still in the storm, and there's 7 games left.
Yeah, that could be a big problem. If we lose the game, then Spurs will smell blood, and all the other teams chasing us, like Aston Villa and even there's plenty of teams that can be in the mix. Liverpool even. So we need to win this game, at least not lose it. That's the most important thing for me. If we can get away with a draw and win the next one, but we're up with the 3 next game is going to be kind of difficult. We have Aston Villa, who's on form. We have Tottenham and Spurs now, and we have Brighton. If we, in worst case scenario we lose all 3 games and everything goes to
everything changes.
Yeah.
Ferguson used to say the worst thing, which he called a disease, is complacency. It's not finished yet. It's not finished yet. You can effectively finish it more or less by getting 3 points. That's what I would tell the players. But be prepared. These are looking for a bounce back. The fans, everybody is pissed off with them, all of them, including Harry Kane.
100%.
They have to come out and show something. Do you know what I mean? It's like 100%. When we after Seville, they're doing what we did. Like, what the hell? So we need you to turn up.
Yeah. Let me just answer Adewale. Big up Adewale. Big up, brother. He says, why can't we control games and our players that bad technically? Well, you know what, actually? The best game we've played this season at Old Trafford by absolute miles was the Spurs fixture at Old Trafford. That was the best game we played. So we controlled that. They were in it for the first 10 minutes. It was competitive for the first 10, 15 minutes. After that, Manchester United took over that game, and we won comfortably. We could have been more. Rashford missed sitters. It could have been more and more, right? I'm silencing you, Mumbai. You look like you're smashing the kick, so I'm silencing you. So that's the game that we controlled tactically. Like, technically and tactically, we controlled them. But I think Thursday is going to be very difficult because of the last time. We remember what happened. We went to Wembley. We came back from Wembley, and then we got smashed by Liverpool. So on Thursday, what I'm looking for, can we match? Because the thing about Ryan Mason is going to demand intensity, aggression, physicality, and he's going to demand that they give it. So we're going to have to match that. And unfortunately, they got battered 6-1, right? We're going to have to match that. And I think if we match them in that, our quality that we can play a bit more better football than them will match. The fact that their defense concedes a lot of goals says something about them. Bruno's definitely out for me. And I'm also hoping that Maguire doesn't start. But Adewale, I'm not going to lie to you, Bruno's a huge miss for this team. It's a huge miss. I know what you're going to say. I know. Put aside, brother. Listen to me. Separate the two. Bruno is not your type of number 10 that you like, the player profile that you like and admire. Put that aside. Then look at this team that at the moment that's not dominating games. That's not technically, because I believe Erik ten Hag did not get the time in the training ground with this team to get the passing levels up to control games, to be in possession of the football. I don't think he has that. I think something you can coach a team. So he's not done that. So that's why the team still looks like a helter-skelter. We can't control the ball. We can't pass to each other. We lose possession. Majority of midfielders, even the good ones, look at the ball like a potato. But Bruno tomorrow, especially Bruno form recently, when he's played a bit more deeper, is crucial for me. Because Eriksen, as he showed, is not up to it. Eriksen's not up to it at the moment. I think having 2 months out and being brought back into these high-intensity games, it's not fair on him. It's not fair on him. So I think Bruno is a huge miss tomorrow, but I hope you can admit that to yourself, because for this team at the moment, that's not technically the best team yet, because we've not had the time on the training ground to drill these patterns of play, this passing patterns of play, these options, this trait, always creating the triangles. If you look at that Erik ten Hag team in the Champions League, there was a person available. There's always that's why they were so calm, taking the ball in different areas and bringing the ball about. So it's about the passing drills, and he doesn't have that. He didn't have the time to do that. Instead, we had games that tired players mentally and emotionally, drained them. But let me know what you think. Let's get into this now quickly before we get to anything else. I don't know if you saw the rumors about Nymer, Jarvis, and Bombaye. Jarvis, we're not going to spend too. Listen, first of all, what do you think the game's going to be? What do you think the score's going to be? I think it could be a draw, this. But if we don't turn up with intensity, if we turn up like we turned up against Liverpool in the second half of that game, we're going to get battered, because they're the type of team that can vie for blood as well. Their confidence will be huge to beat Man United. So I think if we don't bring the physicality, the intensity, the aggression, the unity, if we don't bring that, I think we could get beat by them, because they've got goal scorers. If they create chances, they've got Kane, Son, Kulusevski, who are banging goals. So what score do you think is going to be? I think it's going to be a draw. Go on, Jarvis. What do you think?
Yeah, the thing is with Spurs right at the moment, it was easier to predict the game against Brighton, because we know how Brighton was going to set up, but I don't know about Spurs now how they are going to set up, because they're not going to set up in the Conte style. They will. Do you know how the manager is known? Do you have any favorite tactics, or is it just? No.
Yeah, so, I don't know what his philosophy style of play. He played in the cup final, didn't he? And they got beat in the final. I don't remember how he played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the most difficult thing, because you can't predict how the game is going to be. So okay, then we have to just trust ourselves and make the game plan for our strengths and try to win it our way. And I think that's Ten Hag's. That's one of Ten Hag's strengths. He can find the winning formula. And I think okay, we don't want Kane to drop deep and turn around and play the ball to Kulusevski and Son. So we got to follow him. And there's Shaw. He's a good with that role. So I trust Shaw to play 100%, but. I don't know about the other one. If he prefer Maguire or Lindelof, our fullbacks are good. They are going to take the battle. If Dalot is going to play or Malacia, it's hard to say. But I think most definitely Wan-Bissaka is going to play against Son. So our defense is going to be strong either way.
Would you play Maguire tomorrow? Do you think would you play Maguire, and do you think Ten Hag is going to play Maguire tomorrow? Would you play him, and do you think Ten Hag will play him?
Yeah, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him at all. I wouldn't play him for the reserves because he's useless. He don't scan. He can't play ball. He know nothing about football, in my opinion. When I see a player who's 20 years old, he's an England international, and he plays and he goes against the keeper and waves his hand and wants the ball, and he doesn't look over his shoulders. It tells me that the guy, he doesn't know anything about football. He can stand in the back and hoof the ball upwards, or use his big head and head the ball upwards, but he don't know how to play. But he's a footballer, but he don't know how to play the way we are used to and the modern game. So I wouldn't play Maguire at all. I would rather have Bailly and Tuan Sebe or Ted Menji or some of them to play because they are better footballers in my mind. Yes, but is Ten Hag going to let him play? The only thing I can think of is if he wants someone strong to stand up against Kane, so he just can't turn around with the ball in his feet. I don't think Lindelof is the right man because he's a little bit weak in the duels. So that and they have the Croatian right back Perisic, and he has good crosses. So maybe we need his aerial strength in. So I don't know what Ten Hag is going to choose, but I wouldn't choose Maguire if it was up to me.
Yeah, big up. So what do you think the score's going to be? Quickly, Jarvis.
Yeah, my score prediction is 3-1 United.
Okay, big up. Sorry, Malcolm, we're going to be ending the stream soon. Bumbai, what do you think the score's going to be?
I swear to God, I was thinking 3-1 United.
Well, there you go. Well, let's see. You two are right. We'll be back here on Thursday night for the super chat. Give Victor the captaincy. Eleanor, big up, Craig. Love and light. Big up, Craig. I hope you're well. So it's going to be very... Listen, I want to talk to you about Man United being linked with Nymer. I'm like, nah, I don't want all of that proceeds in. I don't know what it is, Man United being linked with 30-year-olds. What are we? Collecting pensioners? What is this? What effing is this? I don't want another prima donna. We just let go of one of the greatest players who was doing a prima donna at Man United. He's missed about, I think, quarter of a career games, 100 and something games he's missed due to injury and to him always going to his sister's birthday in January or December when the carnival is. I think it's in January, back to Brazil. So it's just surreal to me. Quickly, Jarvis, we're going to move on to another topic, but quickly. Neymar, yes or no?
Big no.
Bumbaye?
Massive no. I've said that always.
Okay, brilliant. We'll move on to this. I don't know if you guys saw the Nemanja Vidic interview with Rio at Rio 5 Live. Big up Nemanja Vidic. He was asked about the captaincy. He was asked about how we got the captaincy at Manchester United and how we led with captaincy. The quotes were, I'll paraphrase them, as a captain, you need to be playing well. He was the type of captain that set an example. He said the way you trained, the way you performed in matches, that was the best way to lead. Because he said he had about 5 other captains in that team. He didn't need that. He didn't need to shout at them or need to scream at people. He didn't need to do that, he said. He said he just needed to basically just show it on the football pitch and show it by him doing it. That's what he's did. What do you guys think of that? And then he was asked about Maguire and the captaincy of Maguire. He said it's very difficult for him because he's not playing well at the moment. He's not playing well. And he's not in the team.
Yeah. That's a very, very good answer on Maguire. But you know, I played football all my life, you know, since I was a kid, a young kid, and now I'm an old man, and I stopped playing for a couple of years ago. So at least I have 35 to 40 years experience in football, and all those years I have never bothered to look at the captain, my captain on the team, because you know, as a player, you don't pay so much attention to the captain. It's more like a media thing for me, and I think the players are also the same. You know, as I was talking about the other day, you know, you saw in when Ten Hag was gathering the players before the penalty shootout. You know, he asked the players who want to take the first penalty, and Casemiro just stepped up right away and put up his finger in the air, and you know, so you know, leadership is something else than the armband. And I think you know, they are grown men up on the field, and they see that. You know, if okay, we see Maguire with armband. Do you think grown men? Do you think they care? No, they know who's the leaders. They know who to follow. And no, that's the way it is. And I felt that myself when I was playing football. You know who's the leaders on the team.
Jarvis, I'll stay with you there. Did you ever see the reaction of the Nottingham Forest game? I think it might have been when he scored. When what's his name scored? I think Anthony scored, and he went to celebrate, and Anthony looked at him like that. Did you see the way he looked at him?
Yeah, his look was he didn't respect him at all. You know, he
and that's a young player, 22-year-old player at Manchester United, yeah. And he thinks like you should not be in this team, because even if I score, you're putting more pressure for us to score, because you're going to concede goals anyway. You're going to make mistakes anyway. That is incredible. That's an incredible. Like, yeah. You know, I used to play five-a-side with Bombay. When we play in a team together, the biggest thing was I didn't want to let them down. And I would always be like, oh, we got. If he didn't mark, oh my God, ask him. People, Bombay story time, right? When I play football with you and I didn't think you went and marked your man, what things was I doing to you on the football pitch?
Well, suffice to say, everybody, that quickly stopped because I started to lose my hearing. So I got my shit together pronto.
Honestly,
no, I'll be fair. Like Jarvis said, yeah, you know who to follow. Sometimes the armband, let's say you give it to Maguire, maybe, okay, I believe in you, confidence, but deep down you're thinking, please God, let this work. You know what I mean? With Maguire, but you was always a leader on the pitch, like Dino Nuruddin. He was always a leader. He does not stop talking, organizing. His presence is constant on the pitch. But Maguire, man, it's just not there. And I think, unfortunately for Maguire, this is not a guy that can play without serious protection in front of him. And when he pushes the high line, he's very cumbersome. He's slow and has no acceleration. You know, if you're going to use him in a high line, guys, we have to be an excellent team in front of him in terms of possession and not allowing transitions. We have to really be good at pressing. Otherwise, you will always ask for trouble. And if Kane drops deep, do you know what I mean? If you start Fred, you want to say to Fred, maybe, listen, you ground him today. You ground Kane today. When he drops in deep, I want you to break him. Because you can't let him drop deep, suck the midfield, suck the defense out. Son and Kulusevski are waiting over the top. Do you know what I mean? You have to be careful of that. That's one thing that Kane likes to do. So we just have to be wary of that. So tomorrow, midfield will be key. And maybe Fred has an important role to play in this. And you know, it's good. We've got some options in midfield. We're pretty rich in midfield in terms of different players that do different things that can offer something during a game, depending on how it's going.
Yeah. Listen, 100%. It's one of those things, honestly, you could not shut me up. You could not shut me up on a football pitch. You could not, five-a-side, anything. You could not shut me up, because it's always like, come on, guys, get there, left foot, right foot. Like, show them the left, show them the left. Don't let him score. You know what I mean? Help each other. And then if the goal's going in, we're like, okay, let's get back. Come on, sharper, sharper. I would never like scream, but I remember at times I would lose my temper with Bombay, because I'd be like, Well, you're not saying we're conceding goals because you're not following your guy. How can you not follow your guy?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'd seen Nuruddin go red.
You think me going to the God here? You think me shouting on here is crazy? When I play football, I'm like, come on, game.
Oh man, that's fair. But do you know what? I feel I started off as a left back.
Oh.
Then somebody started to play me right wing. Then I played left wing. But my position where I really liked was behind the striker in the hole to link up play and shoot left foot, right foot. As I'm getting older,
you will ever see the quickest feet, the way he to get past people. But at times he got so addicted to that, he won't pass the ball. He got so addicted to bang, 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 like getting past people, like quickly doing a step over, doing the skills. Like, oh my God, I say, right, can you just do that? Do not lose the ball. Do the skills.
No. You didn't say it like that.
I said it very politely. I said, can you please pass the ball?
Yeah. You'd be red carded today. But the more I've moved back in the pitch into midfield and playing at the back, man, you start to appreciate the communication, the organization. You see the game in front of you and what's actually going on and what's actually happening.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I remember how we transitioned bit by bit playing with him since we were 10 years old. How we transitioned like bit by bit, and the time I reckon the time when the skills was too many skills, too many hogging the ball was, I think, maybe on the 18, between 18 and 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, about up to 19.
Around that time where he was difficult to play with him because he was so good. And people used to underestimate him. And then he would use his skills, especially the step overs. He used to go. It's so funny. I can picture his even head shape where he would go and then skip past people.
No,
and then the right foot, bang, that shots used to come. The shots. But yeah, the more he got older, the more he appreciated my position. Eh?
No, 100%, 100%.
But the thing is, Nuruddin, if you haven't played the game and been on the pitch, you don't understand how the importance of communication. Because we talk about leaders, we talk about the armbands and stuff like that. But when you're on the pitch, you always see on the ball, you turn around, but you listen to your players. They call for the ball. They shout at you. Watch your back. To the right, to the left. So you have to trust them. It's a dynamic, and when you play, you got to understand the dynamic, and that's why it's so important to have leaders on the pitch. But the leaders are not the one with the armbands. They are not the strongest one. They are not always the one who shouts the loudest. But you need the people who you trust.
And there are many different leaders, but it's the ones who, to me, the best captains have been the ones who say, we're not giving up. Nobody's giving up here. We can get beat, but we're gonna get beat in the right way. We're gonna get beat in the right way. Big up United Devils. Hey panel, what's the odds of Maguire scores to win against Spurs? We want him to score. You do not understand. I wish Maguire was a brilliant player. I wish he had all the attributes. I wish he scanned. I wish he did these things. I wish I never had to talk about him or worry about him or feel anxiety. It's not personal. This is not personal. It's not personal. The best thing about what... Go ahead, Mumbai.
No, sorry. You keep going, man. The best thing about what Vidic said.
The best thing what Vidic said was about how he got signed. And that, when he really struggled is because he didn't have a pre-season. So he came, and in December, in the Russian league, he was playing for the Russian Dynamo Moscow, I think, whatever their team is. And he said that because they always have it, don't they? They have 3 months off, don't they? They're from, I think, October, they're off till March, I think, because it's the winter. You can't play football in that winter. Anyway, he said he came to United without a pre-season. And they played, him and Evera both played in a game in the reserves. Fergie was watching on MUTV. Fergie rang money scene and told them to sub them both at half time.
I swear, they were in the showers, and Vidic was saying to him, I'm thinking about going back to Red Star, and everyone's going, I think I might have to go back to Monaco. This is a mistake.
So it shows you about the judgments. I don't know if you saw the interview, Jarvis. It's on Rio's channel. I don't know if you saw it, but
I didn't see it, no.
Honestly, you need to must watch. You have to watch it. He also Vidic talked about when Fergie signed him, he goes, it was crazy because Fergie was picking up the bag for me, like, you know, when getting the bag out of the car. Fergie's like, no, I've got your bag. Fergie's picking up the bag, like, on the way back, you know, because he had to fly out and then fly back in. Fergie's doing the same, like, because they were going to play a game, so they flew in and they came to meet the team and at dinner, so you know, the night before the game, and then they had to go to another hotel. So Fergie's helping him with the bags, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, wow, this is amazing." He's like, "I'm going to Manchester United." What is interesting is that Rafa Benitez was interested, but Rafa Benitez did not come back to him. He was waiting. Rafa Benitez spoke to him and said, "Do you want to join?" And he says, because he didn't speak that good English, he remembered his girlfriend, who's now his wife, would speak English and understand and interpret for him. So he said, Fergie, he's like, wow, it's brilliant. Like, Fergie's all doing this. He realized when he realized, he was like, damn, I've signed for Manchester United for less money than I was on at Moscow. So he's like, he's showing that Fergie's finessed him by getting bags for him, and he's in awe. This is the great Ferguson, you know. This is the great Ferguson who's won titles and who's done trebles and stuff. And he's like, oh, he's getting my bag for me, like, you know what I mean? And then he shows you. And then I asked him, like, what would you have done if you would have, how much you would have been worth now if you would have played? He said, damn. He said, I wish I was here when Woodward was there handing out those contracts. Yeah,
I bet he did.
So yeah, that's what he talked about. He talked about, I think, to face, he said Drogba was one of the most difficult because at times Drogba would dive, at times he'd really be strong, and that's the things he talked about. But as far as he said, he likes Martinez. He said he loves Martinez. He likes the way Martinez plays. He said he likes the way that he wants to defend, how aggressive he is. He said he was also a bit worried about his height, but he said he showed that he's good in the air. So that's what he talked about. But yeah, and then the Rio rang Fergie on the day before, I think, and he asked him 3 words to describe Vidic, and he said tough, committed, and so I forgot what the other word. He said tough, committed, and I forgot what the other word was.
Yeah, I forgot as well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those 2 words describe Vidic anyway, so you don't need a third word.
Yeah. And he talked about, he said he didn't feel as though, he said he made a couple of mistakes because he got sent off twice against him, and then he scored a couple of goals against him. But he said, Vidic played against Ferran Torres 15 times. So that doesn't mean that he was dominance. But yeah, Vidic was like, yeah, he liked what he's doing. He liked the relationship between him and Rio. That he developed a strong relationship. He said it was an honor to be a captain. And he said one of the reasons why Fergie was saying that you're a captain is because Fergie was like, listen, you have to sign this contract. You be a captain and all of that. And Vidic was like, listen, my agent's got to negotiate. And Fergie's telling him, listen, sign the contract. You're going to be a captain. And he's like, no, he's got to negotiate. I want to get paid what defenders are getting paid. You know what I mean? I want to get paid right. So, yeah, it was an interesting, yeah.
Yeah, do you know why Vidic left United? Because, you know, he wasn't that old when he
talks
left.
about David Moyes. He talks about David Moyes. He said David Moyes, he said he really wanted David Moyes to do really good. And to be fair, it's exactly the same thing as Rio said. And he gave us an insight into a meeting after the City game where they got beaten, where both of them went to see David Moyes. And Vidic said to David Moyes, listen, you kept saying, when we asked you, Rio explained the reason why that footballers, even at the top, like the top ones, they need direction, right? This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to execute. That's it. He goes, David Moyes couldn't make up his mind. Whether we drop off, whether we play pressing up the pitch, what do we do? And he said after the City game, I think when we got badly beaten, Rio and Vidic went to see him because the way Vidic said to him, Moyes, that's it. That was it. The relationship after that was never the same because he probably told him. And Vidic is that kind of person. That's why Ferguson asked him. And Rio was like, Ferguson liked him because Rio was saying that Vidic was one of those so honest, so blunt, he'll tell it to you. He'll tell it to you. You know whether you can handle it or not. He'll tell it to you and he'll take it in return. He liked being honest, like straightforward, none of this. And I think he'd give it to him, to Moyes, and him and both Rio give it to him, and that was it. He said the days were numbered. And he said Wayne Rooney, they already signed a deal with him, and he had 8 months left of his contract or something like that, and the club didn't come to him, and he was running out of contract.
So didn't Moyes one time like show a video instruction of Jagielka to the guys?
You know what? That honestly, I don't know if that's a rumor or that's a fiction or that is the real. That's one of those things. It could be a joke or it could be real.
Okay.
Right, it could be real. But he said that. He said David Moyes was indecisive. He said he's a good guy, really good guy. He wished that that he'd done well, but he said he was very indecisive.
Yeah. Great stories.
Yeah, so you got to watch it now that I've told you mainly all of it. But the bit he said about Maguire was very interesting. He said you're not going to get the respect if you're not playing well. Nobody's going to follow you. Yeah.
Jarvis?
Yeah.
Name me. We spoke about this, but you weren't here for that podcast. Name me 3 to 5 of your favorite players.
Oh,
any area you like.
Show in itself.
The therapy army, and big up Esky, by the way. They've all heard us tell us, but I'm interested, having spoken to you now, and Dino, big up for bringing Jarvis. You always bring good people on. What's your 5, man, or 3? That not necessarily the best, that you have liked and hold in high regard for some reason or other.
Yeah, but when I was a young kid, you started following United. It was like in 87, 88. United, I think we played in 89, the FA Cup final, and Mark Hughes scored he scored 2 goals in the 3-3 game against Crystal Palace. Back in the days, I remember seeing that on television, and I was a huge fan of Mark Hughes in the beginning, and he also scored in the Cup Winners' Cup final. But he was like the big dog. But in that time, we had a youngster, and I really liked the youngster because I was a young kid myself, and I was playing on the left and right wing the same as he did. It was Lee Sharp, so. I really loved how that was probably one of the first players I really idolized. That was Lee Sharp, and of course from the old days when I started watching Robson and even Gordon Strachan played at United. So they're not my favorite players, but I respected them and they were really good at the moment. But Lee Sharp was probably my first favorite player. So in the 90s there were so many of them, but I liked the dribbling to Kanchelskis. He had so much speed and pace when he was dribbling, so he was always one of my favorites too. And Cantona, if we're going to pick one of the great ones. But I just wanted to pick out the special ones, and one of my favorite is the Norwegian Ronny Johnsen when he played as the center back, because I think he was one of the best center backs we have had in the club. But he was injury prone, and he had a big problem with injuries because his musculars was so. He had like a really explosive musculars, and he was really fast on the field. But he always got hamstring injuries and stuff like that. So that's one of the things I would wish that he wouldn't be so much injured, because Alex Ferguson always picked him when he was fit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Varane today. They have the same kind of body type and the same kind of. Of style of play. To sum it up, Paul Scholes, Cantona, Roy Keane.
Yeah. Great pick. To me, Mark Hughes is the reason why I support Man United. When I went to my first
Yeah,
ever game
I
with
was
Man
gonna
United,
say.
Mark Hughes did an overhead kick, and that was it. And I was
Always.
so in awe how strong he was. His thighs were like the size of my body. Like one of his thighs was the size of my body. And
Yeah.
and then I learned that he was the last great striker that came through Man United and played for the club for a long time. So it shows you.
Yeah, but
Vidic
he
actually
scored so many goals, Mark Hughes. He always scored in the big occasions, but he wasn't like a.
But he was more of a number 10. I think he was more of a number 10. His passing was really good, wasn't it? He scored spectacular goals. He was scorer of great goals.
Yeah.
king of the volleys.
Oh my God, the volleys, the overhead kicks, everything.
Yeah, but his strongest strongest position was when he had his back against the goal, so he could just meet because he was so strong and he had a low center of gravity.
One of the best I've ever seen. Well, what Norwegian team do you support, Jarvis? People are asking.
It's Tromsø. Tromsø.
Yeah, Tromsø.
Or Bodø/Glimt. They are both in my region, but Tromsø is my Norwegian team.
When you were a kid, is that the first team?
Yeah. I in the 80s, the English, the British teams like Man United and they used to come to Norway for training in the summertime. Wow. So Manchester United actually played up in Tromsø. I once saw City play against them, and I once saw Nottingham Forest play against them. So the English and the Norwegian football culture is very, very, very connected, and we have always seen the English football on TV in Norway and the FA Cup finals. We have the same relationship to the cup in Norway as they do in England. There's always a big occasion, the king comes on the stands, and there's music, and there's the whole weekend is a party for the supporters of the team. So we always have enjoyed the English football in Norway.
Big up, man. Big up. Oh, by the way, we just noticed your mic. We noticed that. I'm going to copy Jarvis. I'm going to try to set up a little studio space like that. Get a nice camera. But let me know where you got the camera from. And I'll get one as well. The mic looks brilliant as well. The setup is perfect, Jarvis.
Thank you.
Perfect setup. Big up to you. Yeah, to me, I loved Henningberg as well. Henningberg and Jonsson. Honestly, Jonsson. Oh my God. When Jonsson was fit, him and Stam. Oh my gosh. When those two were fit, I used to go to Old Trafford and go, nah, nobody today. Nobody. If they want to fight, they're going to get a fight. If they want to mix it up, Henningberg was good as well. He used to come in a lot of games and play. You know what I mean? Play for us. Yeah, to me, it's amazing, that treble team. Legends for me. United legend. I met him once in town. I met him once in Piccadilly. That's it, in Piccadilly. He was so nice. I just remember his smile. You know what I mean? Because I'm quite tall, and he was like, I was like, you're a legend. I was like, oh my God, you're a Man United legend. He was like, thank you. I was like, you don't understand how happy those 12 days were in my life. Those 12 days. Those 12 days, man. Yeah.
Vidic and Rio actually speak in that interview about Ronny Jonsson and the quality that he has on the ball. They actually said he's one of the top with the ball at his feet and distribution. I tried to go and look for your Ronny Jonsson on YouTube, and that it's hard to find stuff, but he's kind of gone under the radar a bit.
Yeah, he used to come in. I remember he used to pop into midfield with a ball because he was so good, to transition the ball sometimes, man. Yeah, listen, it's one of those. Listen, we can go on all day and night. I wanted this to be 40 minutes, and now it's an hour and 23 minutes.
I'm just going to one reply on Ronny Jonsson. He was when he played in Norway before he went abroad and became a professional football player. He played in Norway at the team called I think it was Lyn. It was called they are based in Oslo. And he used to play as a striker when he played in the Norwegian top league, and so he could basically play in every role on the pitch.
Wow!
And he even played as a striker for the national team in the 90s, the same national team that beat England on Wembley and stuff like that. So England missed out for the '94 World Cup.
Yeah! Wow, that's crazy.
Maguire used to play for the All Blacks.
He did. He did. He played in the back. He was playing in defense, just grabbing people and
Oh God, that guy, man.
yeah. Listen, big up, man. Big up to Jarvis. Big up to Bumbaye. Bumbaye, you will find him only on this channel. 100-year contract. Forget about Evan Ferguson signing an 8-year or 6-year or 5-year contract. Bumbaye is on 100. Jarvis, you can get him at Jarvis Cocker. I'm gonna put it that again. Hopefully, if he lets me do it. Does he let me do it? Oh God, I don't know why he's not letting me do it. Let me just go do this. Maybe. Sometimes my computer is a bit funny. There we go. There we go. We're gonna put his titles on there. If I can remember, it is Bowley
77.
Yeah, that's it. Bowley 77.
Yeah.
You know, I went
and the channel what you appear on, the other channel what you appear on?
Weekly Armchair Sports.
Weekly Armchair Sports. I went and watched one, man. Really informative stuff, you know, in-depth stuff. Really nice, actually. Good stuff. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Whose channel is that, Jarvis?
I think his name is Keen, but I will send you his information. So I'm doing a show tomorrow, a match preview at 8 o'clock. So if people wanna watch, just check it out.
8 o'clock. That's the time the City game kicks off. Everybody's watching that.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Oh,
sorry.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Yeah.
UK
listen,
time.
Please send me a link. Maybe I can jump on.
That would be nice.
Cool. So I'll jump on. Send me the link.
I would jump on, but I'm not allowed.
Yeah, he's not allowed. Only on air. Only on air. So there we go, people. You can catch him. There we go. At Jarvis Cocker. And it's at, sorry, I need to get this. Sorry, I need to get this. So I need to click on it. It's at Bowley 77. And then let me just get these things away.
Listen, if we dust Tottenham and I'm on here for the aftermath of that, I'm going to belt you out a Jarvis Cocker classic.
There you go. There you go. On Thursday, we'll do the match reaction, Jarvis. On Thursday.
So I hope we don't lose any viewers.
People. Weekly Armchair Sports, yeah? I've got it right. Is that how it's spelled, Jarvis?
That's how it's spelled, yeah.
Weekly Armchair Sports. So go and check that. Go and subscribe to that channel. Help out Jarvis and the crew over there. Big up and big up to Tom Journalist 1 for jumping on. Big up to Tom Journalist 1. Paulins was a great player. Big up to all of you. Win, lose, draw. Glazers out, bankers out. And we'll see you for the match reaction tomorrow. And Jarvis is going live at 7 o'clock tomorrow at Weekly Armchair Sports. He's doing a show there, a preview there. Big up, Jarvis.
Big up.
Big up. Love Jarvis. Right. Love and light, people. Take care. Take care, people. Good night. Glazers out.
Good night. Big up, everybody, man.
Bankers out. What are you saying there, Bumbaye?
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. We're waiting for you to finish. Say something. Last word. You've got the last word.
Yeah, big up everybody. Some really good comments tonight. It's been nice and interactive. Glazers out, bankers out. Come on, the mighty Reds.
Exactly. And make sure you subscribe. He's going live tomorrow as well. Malcolm, go and check out MK United 19. MK United 19. Go and check that out. Okay. MK United 19. And it's at Malcolm Kisa on Twitter. Big up to everybody. Let's hope. Take care. Big up the Therapy Army. Big up, love and light.